Welcome to the Weigh In Podcast, your prescription for a healthier life, where wellness is more than just a number on a scale. We'll dive deep into not just weight loss, but the medical, emotional, and lifestyle aspects of well-being.
In each episode, we'll weigh in on hot topics ranging from diet myths and exercise trends to mental health and chronic disease management, providing you with the evidence-based advice to guide your health decisions. Remember, it's not just about the weight on the scale, but about creating a healthier, more balanced you. Hey, Katie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Zarina?
I'm doing great. There's been lots in the news lately about the Tirzepatide shortage and whatnot, but we will get to that in a minute. I wanted to ask you about your grand opening because that actually made it in the news too. So
yes, it was so cool.
Yeah.
I really had no idea they were coming. And then everybody there kept pointing and they were like, Channel 6 News is here. And I was like, ah. And I was like, hi.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I was really excited because I had no idea that was happening. So it was really cool. It was so much fun. It's really cool how like instrumental Chamber of Commerces can be to small business. Because I am in 2 Chamber of Commerces. So those of you that are listening that are local to where I live, I'm in the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also in the Newcastle County Chamber of Commerce. So Pennsylvania and Delaware, and they both came to my ribbon cutting, which was cool.
Oh,
so yes. And Newcastle County, which is in Wilmington, Delaware, that Chamber of Commerce rolled so deep. They were like, there were so many of them, and it was just like so much love and support. And my friends and family came, and the office looks amazing, I must say. And yeah, it was just nothing but positive vibes. And also just like the surrounding community was just so nice. We had so many people come by and ask about services. All the food got eaten, all the pamphlets got taken. It was like everything that we wanted. So we're so excited to be there.
Oh, great. So are you guys officially open now and taking patients?
Yeah, we are open. We're accepting new patients for weight loss, for men's health, and for IV infusions. We're getting lots of requests for Botox. So we are thinking about jumping on that train sooner rather than later. Just because it seems like there might be like a need in the area. But yeah, we are definitely open. And if you're listening and you're in Delaware, we would love to meet you.
Oh, great. I'm so happy for you. I know that you were stressing about that for like the past couple of months.
Oh my gosh, because I'm a perfectionist. I wanted everything to be perfect. And I also it wasn't just like having the office look beautiful. I wanted obviously like all the services and the entire experience to be equivocal to the wonderful experience that our patients here in Havertown get. So like I wanted like all the relaxing vibes. I wanted all the furniture and decor to be like similar to Havertown. I even wanted the scale to be the exact same scale that we have here in Havertown. Like I couldn't help it. I wanted to be that you could go to either office because this whole like tri-state area, everything's really close. So even though we're in Pennsylvania, the Delaware location is like 30 minutes away. So yeah. I just wanted it to be that people could swing by to either office, which side note, I'm really surprised the amount of patients I have that are like, can I just transfer to Delaware? Because I actually live closer to the Delaware location than to you. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Great. It's the same scale. So I really wanted everything to be absolutely perfect. And it was so cool. And the coolest part was having my boys there who were just like, Elijah was there, shy as ever. For those of you listening, I've got 2 boys and they're like day and night. So my older son who works for me is 16 and he's like an introvert, super shy, doesn't love like too much attention. And then my younger one, Max, is like, oh my gosh, like diva to the T, like the ultimate extrovert. As soon as he saw that Channel 6 was there, my man was ready, like collar popped, like, making sure he was in the picture. If you look at pictures, little dude is like front and center.
Oh my gosh.
He like dressed up in this little button down that like he picked out. So like they were just like so excited. And then he's been at summer camp, like showing everybody the video of him being on the news.
Oh my gosh, what a cutie pie.
He was very, very cute. So yeah, it was so fun. And a lot of my friends brought their kids, and there's actually a playground across the street from the office. So the kids had a great time too.
That's amazing. I'm so happy for you, and congrats on your second location, and you're expanding your empire. And this is just so wonderful.
Thank you. And thank you for being such an amazing, supportive friend. therapist sometimes. I call her randomly. And you guys, I'm so disrespectful about the time difference. Like, I don't really be caring if it's like, and sometimes she answers. And also be like, oh, she won't see us till she wakes up because it'll be like 8 a.m. my time. And she'll be like, yeah, that's cool. Or, yeah, girl, pick the silver one. That'll look good. So, or no, the biggest question, because this speaks to our personalities, is me sending her a picture and being like, is this too much? Remember when I was setting up for the office?
Yeah.
I wanted to do something extra. And I'm always like, is this too much? And you're always like, yep.
Yeah, because I just think about the long term. Okay, what are you gonna do with this thing afterwards?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And you understand the vision, because your office has a similar vibe where I really like for it to be as minimalist as possible, beautiful and comfortable. But I really want, especially for my patients that are coming that are larger, I want it to always not feel like a small stifling space. I don't want people to feel small when they're in there. I want them to feel relaxed.
Yeah.
And I want them to feel comfortable.
I definitely agree, girl. But, now it's all over. Yay. So congrats.
Thank you, friend. All right. So are we gonna cut to the tea now? Because we really only have one.
We really
only have one piece of news.
It is shaking up the weight loss industry. Nobody's like sure what to do.
It is. Weight loss providers, med spa providers are out here stressed, y'all.
How do you feel about it? Like, okay, so now the FDA has reported that Zepbound and Mounjaro are off the shortage list since all doses are available, which is great, amazing. But the concern is Tirzepatide, which is the active ingredient in the medication. It's still listed as a shortage, but I guess Eli Lilly has been going to or sending out notices to different clinics and maybe I think pharmacies as well, saying that it's no longer in a shortage anymore. Tirzepatide is no longer in a shortage according to them, but according to FDA, they said it still is. So yeah, what are your thoughts, Katie?
So first of all, as we speak, because this is always an ever-changing thing, as we speak, I was about to look up to see what the shortage list says today, because I haven't checked it today. But as of whenever I most recently checked, it would have been like 2 days ago, maybe. The Tirzepatide was still on the shortage list. I'm going to preface everything that we say by saying that Serena and I are not attorneys. Mm-hmm. And we will not claim to be experts on sort of any like legal matters. So we're not speaking to that part. We're just kind of speaking to the tea that's out there and what our opinion on it is. Basically, so that those of you that are listening understand what we're talking about. Here's the deal. We and many pharmacies, many clinics offer compounded medications. In the States, so in the United States of America, medications can get compounded for a variety of reasons. One of those reasons is if there is a national drug shortage. Because Mounjaro, Zepbound, otherwise known as Tirzepatide, has been on shortage, we have all, and by we, I actually mean the pharmacies, because I'm not personally compounding anything, but compounding pharmacies have been able to compound these medications legally and legitimately so. Now, Zepbound, Eli Lilly, who makes Zepbound and Mounjaro, is financially thriving in their multi-billion-dollar sort of like weight loss drug game. And because of that, they're saying, listen, like, we've got the medication, we've got the drug, there's no longer a shortage, and they've told the FDA this. But my understanding about FDA drug shortages is that you can't just be like, there ain't a shortage anymore. You have to prove consistently that you can produce this medication and have it be widely available to people over somewhat of an extended period of time. I'm not sure how long of a period that is. I don't know if that's a couple months. I don't know if that's a few months. I think it might be a few months. But again, I won't pretend to be an expert on the ins and outs of this. But typically you have to show that you are that you have the medication available. And what my point is that if you are currently receiving compounded Tirzepatide, chances are it's not like tomorrow you're not going to be able to get the drug anymore. That's mainly what I'm saying. There's no need for hysteria. Chances are you have a little bit of time, and not for nothing, this is not the first time that a drug company has said we don't have a shortage anymore, and then still ended up staying on the FDA shortage list.
Yes.
There are plenty of drugs that have been trying to overcome it, and they're like, oh, yeah, we got it. We got the drug, but then they can't actually produce it.
Yes. So yeah, to piggyback off of that, that's why my, initial thoughts was like, okay, we've gone through this before. Um, I'm pretty sure with semaglutide and Ozempic, they were saying that, oh, it's going to be off the shortage list, and there was this whole scare. At that time, yeah, I was like, oh no, like, what are we going to do? But even if they have the medication, they have to make sure that they have enough to build what's called a safety stock. Back orders have to be fulfilled, and the supply must meet or exceed the total demand for the drug for it to be removed off shortage. So for them to meet all those checks, that would take, maybe a few months, a year. I'm not sure exactly, but it's going to take some time. So even though Eli Lilly boosted their production to make sure that their medication was available for all doses, it's great, but there's still a bunch of other things that need to be checked off. And again, like, compounding pharmacies have been around forever. Like, they compound other medications for people if they can't take things a certain way, if it has like ingredients in there that they can't handle. Like, compounding pharmacies can make a way for it's, like, for example, gelatin free or something like that, or in a different form. They can make lollipops of medications. They could do all these different things. I understand that some compounding pharmacies got a little scared and they stopped offering it. But some other pharmacies are still offering it. So it's kind of just a matter of like pivoting to the availability. But at least as far as we're concerned, like, we're not really concerned at all. So
when I tell you that we are collectively unbothered, here's why. Number one, I'm personally, and I think A-List Clinic is having the same thing. At LifeFire, we're not experiencing any issues with getting the drug, like, period. Not right now, anyway. Again, this could, at the time that this is airing, which will probably be a couple weeks after we're having this conversation, maybe things will be different. But as it stands right now, I'm having no issues getting this drug for my patients, number one. And number two, like, LifeFire and the A-List Clinic, the businesses aren't sort of like predicated or based on being able to offer Tirzepatide to patients. We offer weight loss services, and our patients are paying for the weight loss service that we provide. What that means is that if all hell breaks loose and suddenly you can't get Tirzepatide, don't worry. I've got you. We're still going to make sure that you lose weight. There are so many amazing weight loss drugs that are out there, not to mention all the ones that are like in the works right now and like being studied. Trust me, like, if we have to transition you to something different, and it comes to that, we absolutely will. If we have to have you come in to like get an in-office injection of the Tirzepatide, because I know at least in my office we still have like an office supply of the drug, then we definitely will. But don't worry, it's not going to be like, screw you, you can't get it anymore. And if it comes to that, then kind of like whatever it takes. I know at our office we've explored looking to see, like, is this drug actually in stock and is it actually available? And if so, if it's regularly available, then maybe it is potentially worth having a conversation about, like, does your insurance cover you being able to get this drug? And if so, how can we be supportive of that?
Yes, absolutely. Like she said, there's all these other medications that have been around forever. We could transition you to oral meds. So it's not the end of the world. It's just like, if Tirzepatide doesn't become available, eventually, if they meet all those checks that we were talking about, there's always other options. And like Katie had said, if you do meet the requirements that insurance asks for, or what your doctor's asking for, again, that usually requires having a diagnosis of diabetes, meeting a certain BMI. So you would have to, have that required, and then we could do, prior authorization if you know that your insurance does cover it. So that's something that, if you do your due diligence and research that upon yourself, it'll save you the hassle and the heartache when you find out, oh wait, insurance doesn't cover it. And then that would just, be so terrible to go through all that work and then find out, oh, I can't even get it covered. And again, just to remind you guys of the brand name cost, it's usually about $1,500 a month, at least for like Ozempic and Wegovy. I'm actually not sure how much it costs for Mounjaro and Zepbound, but somewhere ballpark around that area. So
I think it's actually more than that.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the thing that I think many people have concerns about is, most of those of us that are legitimate weight loss providers, the reason why we offer compounded medication as an option is because getting it through insurance and from these pharmacies just has not been accessible. If it is accessible, then that's a different conversation. But that is where a lot of the anxiety is coming from for people, is like this drug has like literally totally changed people's lives who were not able to access it either because their insurance didn't cover it or because the medication has perpetually not been in stock. And so, you know, I know on my end, the only part of me that does have concern is, you know, I would be really upset if my patients that have responded only to Tirzepatide are unable to access it in any way, shape, or form because their insurance doesn't cover it. But we will cross that bridge when and if it comes, and we will definitely cross it together. Nobody's going to leave you hanging. And, you know, I know that both of our clinics also have multiple contracts with multiple pharmacies. So, or multiple relationships with multiple pharmacies. So we, you know, have the ability to, you know, really make sure that, you know, we can get the medication for you if possible. And also, as Irina alluded to, there are a lot of other reasons why a pharmacy can compound a drug that have nothing to do with there being a drug shortage. So I think this is one of those things that we're just continue to follow closely. From a business perspective, we're not really worried because I don't consider myself some type of like Tirzepatide pharmacy. I offer weight loss services, and I'm going to continue to offer weight loss services, and we're going to make sure that you lose the weight.
Yeah, well said. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you could always hit us up at the Weigh-In NPs on Instagram or email us at contact@theweighInNPs.com. But rest assured that, yeah, we are completely unbothered by this new development. So, yeah.
Yes, for sure. There's so many drugs out there. There's so many drugs, and Novo Nordisk is being awfully quiet. So
I know, this could have been their chance. This could have been their chance to like.
Novo Nordisk is being awfully quiet. Poor guys. They've been trying to overcome their shortage for a long time. They've been trying to move past that shortage for a very, very long time.
Yeah. So that's just another testament. Okay, if like the first line of medications, the semaglutides, Ozempic, Wegovy, like they still can't even find their way off the shortage list. They've been around longer than Mounjaro and Zepbound. Like it just goes to show nothing to worry about right now.
Meantime, all these compounding pharmacies, they're probably not stressed because meanwhile, there's all these other like GLP-1s that are getting ready to come out soon. How soon, we don't know, that do all kinds of things, from brushing your hair to cleaning your car. I'm kidding. They don't do all that, but like... Like the GLP-1s that have been getting studied sound absolutely insane. They almost sound like a made up story. So my point is that there are a lot of options, and it certainly is not the end of being able to receive weight loss services or being able to lose weight.
New one that's supposed to be coming out is supposed to target like 3 hormone receptors in the gut, which is supposed to be stronger than Tirzepatide. So, you know, new kid on the block.
New kid on the block, indeed. Novo Nordisk is go look at Eli Lilly like, now you know how we feel.
Right.
Now you know how it feels.
Oh my God. Actually, I'll ask Nick to put in this clip from The Simpsons that I love. It's like, I think they're at a farm or something, and then there's like these sheep, and then there's like this, you know, the tiny sheep, the baby one that everyone's like, oh, and then the other 2 are like trying to get attention. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Meanwhile, whatever new rock star drug is out there is just brushing its hair in the background, just getting ready to reveal itself.
Yeah, doing its
like
nails.
Y'all tripping over this little Tirzepatide, like y'all ready.
Oh my God. Yeah, the Steph Curry. Hi, everyone. Today we have Alex. She is a current client of the A-List Clinic. She's been on semaglutide since November 2023. She has lost up to 55 pounds and now fits into a size 4 to 6 from a size 12. Alex is a dog mom of 2, mother of 3, and an amazing wife. Without further ado, here's Alex. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for being here. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we just wanted to ask you, first question was, what was your aha moment for wanting to lose weight?
I think I'd lost weight some years back and did really well, but I think it obviously slowly crept on. my aha moment was when I went to put on these beautiful tailored linen pants I had, and I couldn't get them past my knees. And then I thought, oh, they've shrunk. And I was like, no, they haven't. I've gotten larger. So that was my moment that I was like, oh, okay, I just didn't realize things had crept up and wasn't on the right path.
And then before you kind of got to have the wonderful services that you got from the A-List clinic, what other things did you try to lose weight, to do to lose weight?
Well, I think every Monday was diet start day. Prior, I think it was just pretty much healthy eating, but a lot of times I just lost the focus to stay really committed to something. And yeah, I think I'd go off track probably by lunchtime, if I'm honest. I just didn't have that. I wanted to do something, but just the willpower wasn't quite there.
Sure.
I think I had to have that aha moment to really be driven and focused and make the correct decision to move forward properly.
Yeah. Did you notice that happened after having kids? Or
it did.
What was
it actually did. I'd hate to use that as an excuse, but when I was pregnant with my 3 children, with each of them, I got progressively bigger. And mentally, maybe because that was a bit more back in the times, I'd always go, oh, but I'm eating for 2. I'll eat those packet of M&Ms, or, and I didn't realize it wasn't going to come off. So my portions weren't massive. I think I was just eating way too many calories for my height and whatever, and just didn't move enough. Even though I was busy with 3 children, it just wasn't enough. I'd eat their leftovers and things that you just shouldn't do. So I think it was probably a gradual mix of everything, and to the point I didn't realize I got to as big as I got.
Tell us about your experience with being on semaglutide. What was it like? Did you experience any severe side effects? What were those first several weeks like?
Okay, the whole thing from start to finish was good. It did take me a minute before I signed up to be committed to it. I ping-ponged a lot of emails or messages on Instagram, asking 1,000 questions. Sorry, Serena, I probably drove you crazy, but I just wanted to be sure that if I was, putting money into something, that I would truly stick to it, and it was the right thing for me to do, I guess. So once I made that commitment, I was pretty excited for the meds to arrive once I'd done all the bloods and everything. And then I think, probably the worst side effects were the nausea, but it was very manageable. I was very fortunate. I followed all my guidelines of what to do, when to inject, and, high protein beforehand. So I really followed it to the letter. I thought, well, if I'm putting this amount of money into something, that I've got to do it the correct way. So I pretty much followed it. I found it really easy. I mean, I would know that if I'd start feeling really hungry, it was time to potentially go up a dose, or it would be nearing that time on its own. I really didn't struggle a lot. I mean, I did have, I'm going to say, maybe 2 bouts of really bad nausea that were really had to rush to the restroom. Felt a bit off, but I was fine. But other than that, I was fortunate. I didn't really have very much at all. So I think I had a really good result all around. And I used the reference information that I got like a Bible, and really just followed it, looked at it, really did it to the letter.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
How much weight did you lose? I guess your first couple of months, was it a consistent number?
No, I'm going to say the first 2 months there was not a lot. I think it probably took that long for my body. I don't know if that's a normal thing, but I think it was a good 2 months before I really started to notice. So what I started in November, I went home December to Australia for Christmas, and I'd lost maybe a little bit, but not very much. I think it was more when I got back here the 2nd of Jan that the weight really just started falling off me. And while I was away, I was really careful with what I ate, and I was very active and everything like that. So I'm going to say, for me and my body, it was a good 2 months before I really started seeing the scales drop a lot. So no, I was just going to say, and I knew that if they sort of stayed stagnant for a bit, I needed to drink more water, get moving a lot more, and just be a bit more diligent in what I needed to do.
That's amazing. How much weight did you lose in total doing this program?
Well, being from Australia, we do things in kilos, so pounds still throw me a little bit. Yeah. In my head, my heaviest weight before I started this was 110 that's kilograms. Sorry, I don't know the conversion.
It's okay.
But
Here, I'll convert for you as we chat.
in my head, I wanted to be under 70 kilos. So I was so adamant that that was like the magic zone for me. I remembered from back when I was just out of high school, and I think my lowest weight was around the 79 kilos. I was wanting to get back to that sort of number in my head. It was truly a number thing for me. As it stands today, I was 69 on the scales.
Oh,
Yesterday
wow.
and today. Yeah. So, and my highest was 110, and that was just before I started.
So I
So
did the
that's
math.
I could be getting the pound conversion way wrong, but yes.
Pounds wise, you started off at 242 pounds
Okay.
and went down to 154 pounds.
Okay.
If I did that right.
So and I'm
Probably.
no mathematician, but what this looks like, and Zarina as her provider, tell me if this is right. Did girlfriend lose 88 pounds?
Yeah, 88 pounds.
What?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Way more than I thought.
Oh my
Thank you.
It's incredible.
And so
Yeah.
humble. I would have led with that. I would have been like, well, every sentence would have been like, and I lost 88 pounds. And I lost 88
No,
pounds.
well,
So,
it gets a bit lost in the translation between pounds and kilos. So I still do everything in kilos. So yeah, there we go. And I was trying to probably be on the conservative side too, as far as converting.
amazing.
Thank you.
Alexandra, can I ask you a question for our
Yes.
listeners who are not in Cali and maybe like not in Pennsylvania that are looking for clinics? What specifically about Zarina's clinic was like, because there's so many clinics out there right now. What specifically about the A-List clinic was like, oh my gosh, like this is definitely going to be the clinic that'll probably work for me?
I think it was the communication first up. As I said, I ping-ponged a lot of messages because I wanted to be sure. I just sort of liked what I was seeing, and I think I felt comfortable. I think that was probably the best thing. I felt really comfortable with what my responses and answers were, and I felt like I was probably asking a lot of silly questions, but in my little head, I just had to know things were the correct thing for me, like I said. I think that was it. It was really easy. I mean, I could have done it virtually, which is what I did do, or come into the clinic. So there was options. Yeah, I just got a good feeling, and it felt like the right thing. So yeah, and I've loved the service. So I've anywhere I can talk about it online or to my friends or people that ask me in America, I give them the big plug. So, and that's not sponsored, so no.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that so
she's
much.
so amazing. And I'm going to say this because as my friend and colleague, she's not going to say it herself. She has such good vibes when it comes to Zarina. She's so non-judgmental and so easygoing. What's funny, Alexandra, is when she and I became friends, I was messaging her on Instagram, random questions about entrepreneurship. And she was so patient and she was answering everything. And then I was like, oh, do you want to be friends and like talk on the phone? And she was like, yes. And then we became friends. But that was the same thing. Just so patient and non-judgmental that she instantly feels like somebody that you can trust. And I think that that's an awesome thing about Zarina's clinic. I'm sure I know that the clinic is sort of a reflection of her and the positivity that she exudes.
Absolutely. And I think too, I liked that I knew upfront what it was, because I was thinking, well, if the meds increase, does the price go up? Everything was answered very transparent. And I have seen online other places and their meds might be cheaper, but then they've got a monthly subscription fee on top of the meds. So
yes,
you know what I mean? So I was really, a lot of them were in the itty bitty fine print. That's why I was, that did boil down to money as well, unfortunately, but I didn't like to feel like I was trapped with anything. And then you start something and then the cost escalates and then it wasn't doable at all. So there was a lot of things that I looked into. So there was a lot of positives with the A-List clinic.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, our goals, like me and Katie, I think we can agree on this, is that we just like to be transparent with our potential clients or current clients because, like you said, there's all these clinics that will have their websites up and it's like, oh, call for more information. And it's like, it just feels very sales pitchy. And we just don't want to do that. We just want to make sure that, you know what you're getting into. And like you said, you're spending a lot of money on this too. So you want to make sure you know what you're going into. We can't stand it when we have like, oh, you're locked in for 3 months, 3-month commitment, like It's
or
not
like
for
a
everyone.
surprise,
Yep.
or like a surprise cost, and you have to jump off the meds, and then you gain all the weight back, and then that's not good for business either, from a business standpoint,
No.
right? Like, we don't want people to regain the weight, because to me, this is all kind of useless. If you gain the weight right back down, it's just another gimmick. So I think it's important to be transparent about pricing, so people can see, can I realistically do this, stick with it, and kind of see the whole program through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I agree.
I wanted to ask too, before you started medical weight loss, like, had you tried anything else as far as diet or exercise, or what was that like?
I think I tried everything. I'd done shakes. I'd done actual diet. I think over the years, I'd given everything a go. Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, the whole kit and caboodle. Before I actually came to the A-list clinic, I did go and see a dietitian through my health medical insurance here.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh, this would be great. They'll give me some mapped out food plan of what to cook and better understanding maybe of nutrition. And I was all excited, had to wait some weeks to go see and get an appointment. And then when I did go there, the lady was lovely, but all she did was say, go and buy this prepackaged food. And I thought, oh, okay. So it wasn't what I wanted, but I thought, oh, okay, well, she's the medical professional, so I'll give this a try. And the food was awful. And I did it for 2 months and had very, very little response to any weight
Was it
loss.
like food that she was sponsoring? Was it just like a brand that she
No,
recommended?
it was a brand, and I can't think of the name. The name escapes me now. But it was not very great tasting. And to really lose weight, you had to eat everything in that day's food. But I just found it was such a volume of food that I thought even when I was larger, I wouldn't have eaten this much. So I felt like I was constantly eating, but that particular thing didn't work for me. So I sort of felt a bit cheated out of what I was doing, because I really went for help, and that was just an easy, like, oh yeah, we'll just give you this, go eat this, do this. And it wasn't helping me to eat better or fuel my body in any way. So
Right.
that didn't work. And then I swear these phones and stuff are bugged, and then that's when the A-list clinic came up on my feed, because I've been talking about it. So AI sent me to you in a sense. But yeah.
What kind of meals were they? Are these like full-on meals that you had to eat like every day?
Yeah, yes. So it was like the 3 meals. It was just like a, cardboard box of something you'd heat in the microwave. Actually, they weren't even frozen meals. They were things you could just keep on your shelf in the cupboard. It was like a stew or a casserole, and like a mac and cheese with whatever. Obviously calorie controlled, but they just
Was it
weren't
almost
nice.
like in a powdery format?
No, those ones were actual, if you could call it real food. I can't think of the brand either, and it escapes me, but a lot of apparently medical practitioners recommend this, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
This is so funny that you're bringing this up, Alexandra, because you guys, I recently have been shopping at my clinic for sort of like shakes, meal replacements. So they sent us, and I will not say the name of this company, it's very reputable. Big companies use this. They sent us, you guys, boxes and boxes of food. And it was so bad that the box that just recently came in the mail, my office manager, Shara, hid from me, because she was like, I don't want you to ask me to try it, because I literally can't. She's like, it just tastes like, it tastes bad. And she was like, and to be honest, even if it tastes good, who wants to like only eat this all day long, every day? But yeah, she said that the food, although like nutritionally it looked good, and I'm wondering if we're talking about a similar type of food brand, who knows? But yeah. It did not taste good at all.
No, this didn't. And when you actually read the ingredients, it was very high in sodium and stuff like that. So I'm like, I just can't see how this is helping me. For me, if I had too much sodium, I just would retain fluid. It just, I don't know how they pass it off as like diet food as such, or nutritionally less food or whatever. It wasn't good.
Wow. But you said mac and cheese, like, wow, I'm very like fascinated that they would offer that.
Yeah, a lot of them offer things like I think we had like a sloppy Joe one that came in the mail recently.
Oh wow, okay.
Even my teenage son was like, Mom, I can't I want to try to tell you what it is, but I cannot. So
Yeah.
I think it's I wonder like who these things work for. And I wonder if the population that it works for is people who are very, very, very obese, like morbidly obese, and maybe they're preparing for like bariatric surgery. And maybe sort of what they're dealing with is such that they just need it to be that there's nothing else available to them but this food, just so that they can get that initial chunk of weight off,
Maybe,
sort of like for health reasons.
I didn't think it was good, and it really didn't taste that great. I think I got accustomed to it after a couple of weeks, but I was like, oh, which one are we having today? I look at my array of selection, and it wasn't good. No.
See, that
and
sounds
you're a
so
mom,
depressing.
right? You have kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
how did that work?
They're older. Like the youngest that is at home is 16. Just turned 17 yesterday. I used to say, do you want to try one? And she'd be like, no, thanks. No, thanks. And there was bars as well with it. And the shakes, like the cans of powdered shake. It just, I don't know. I think it was didn't sit well in my stomach, made me feel gassy and bloated. I think it did the opposite of really what I wanted to feel and achieve.
Was it expensive?
Yeah. Yep. So my hubby was having a meltdown about the cost. He's like, oh my gosh. He goes, you actually eating this stuff? I'm like, yeah, I'm loving it. Wasn't loving it.
But you had to make it seem like you were, because you get mad. Like, are you spending all this money?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So did your family know that you were on a medical weight loss program?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They know that no matter what I do, it'll always be a lifelong thing that I have to be focused on. It's not just to get to a certain weight, then woohoo, we're done. Proof in the pudding was my daughter being over here, and we had a week in Vegas and whatever, and I ate like candy in the car like a 9-year-old would, and the scales showed that when I got home. I was absolutely mortified, and I'm thinking in my head, all the walking, I'll be fine. No, I wasn't. So that was just another all right. So that doesn't happen that way.
During that time, because you had been taking the meds up until May, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you kind of went cold turkey, and then it was like being last week when you were like, okay, I got to get back on.
Yeah. I just realized that, I had in my head, I thought, no, I've got this, but I didn't quite have it, not to where I really wanted it to be.
Yeah. So that's kind of the hard part with once you reach goal weight, is like, okay, how do we maintain? Because you don't want to gain the weight back. Like, you've done all this hard work. I mean, you've lost, 55 pounds or 88 pounds, whichever. And it's just all that time, you don't want to gain it back. So what I find with clients is that if you go cold turkey, it's a little bit difficult because you sort of get that food noise coming back or the cravings coming back. So usually what I like to recommend is to do maintenance. And so, you could just have the medication like a little bit in your system, because of course you don't want to keep losing weight if you're already at a good, good weight, right? So stay on maintenance, I think, is a good plan. That way, like, you still have the medication there, but it's not going to affect you too much, but at least you won't be regaining the weight. We don't want to see that. So
absolutely no.
Yeah.
Well, that, as I said, the scales shocked me, and I was like, and I did feel a little bit different. And I was like, oh no, it won't be bad. Got on the scales and I was horrified. So that was like, no.
Yeah. How much weight did you gain during that time?
3 kilos.
3 kilos, which is about, I think, 6 pounds. Yeah.
I think, I was horrified. And I did sort of feel it in my jeans and stuff. They were a little bit snug. So I was like, oh, darn. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Aside from food, like, can you talk about what else you did during your weight loss journey? Did you stick to certain foods, have an exercise program?
I was a bit boring and basic. I tended to stick to the same sort of foods. I'd always make the protein the priority in what I would eat. I would eat eggs a lot more frequently, salad, chicken and vegetable soup, homemade sort of stuff. I mean, look, if we went out for dinner and my husband got a dessert, I'd have like a teaspoon of it or something, just to feel like I'd had something, instead of, years gone by, I would have got entree, main, dessert, coffee, alcohol, the whole bit. So that just didn't happen. I just tried to make better choices. I wasn't so much calorie counting or anything like that then. If I felt like watermelon, I would have watermelon. If I felt like pineapple, it was pineapple. If I felt like steamed vegetables, it was steamed vegetables. Just whatever sort of really went, but my portions were very, very small.
Okay, that's great. And then you were talking about vacation, like you went back to Australia. Was it harder in that sense? Because like you are back home and then, are you tempted a little bit more from family or friends or?
No, well, you know what? I actually wasn't. I mean, I sort of, in my head, I was sort of keeping track of either I was eating or drinking. I mean, I'm not a big drinker anyway, which is really lucky. I'm a bit of a one drink wonder. So alcohol for me and the calories that come with it are not really an issue. No, look, I was pretty careful. Like whatever we'd have for breakfast would be something really like oatmeal or eggs. Again, the standard. I just tried to always eat sort of really good food. And even like Christmas Day and stuff, I didn't really overeat on what we had. It was, we had in Australia, it's summer, obviously at Christmas time. So we had a lot of seafood and things like that. So yeah, I was very careful in what I ate. And again, we were always walking places. We did a lot of walking and the beach and stuff like that. Weather wasn't that great, but we did a lot of activity.
Tell me what it has been like working on the maintenance part, right? I'm assuming that have you reached your goal weight? I should probably ask that question first. Are you still actively trying to lose or, okay,
Yeah,
so you're still kind of in that.
Just a few kilos, yes. I think in my head, 65 is the magic number in my head and always has been. I think going with the BMI, it's like 55 kilos, which to me, I would be stick and bone. That would be, I think, not really realistic. I think I'd probably look a little bit sick. As far as maintenance goes, I've probably struggled a little bit more with that, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
I think just getting back on in the zone of things, yeah, I've found that just a little bit more challenging at the minute. And I think as the scale goes back down, I'm getting more in the zone again now that I'm back on the meds. That was, I thought I'd be great on my own and wasn't quite the way of the world for me.
Yeah, not just you. I've had like a few clients over the summer. It's been hard because you're going out and you said you had family come by.
Yeah.
And that's been happening with a lot of people, bachelorette parties or birthday parties, weddings, like so many events happen over the summer. And that's easily a time when you could just fall off the wagon. So I totally get it. And I think that's something that, of course, is just going to happen all the time and something that we have to deal with. Like, how do we deal with those events when it happens and not go crazy? I think if it's like a one-time thing, if you're going out, say to a trip, like it's like going on vacation. When you come back, like, okay, you might have gained weight. The really important thing is just not gaining the habits, like after when you come back home. So after you've gone on a trip, you might have eaten the candy, might have had an extra drink or something. But when you come back home, when you go back to your routine, are you still drinking? Are you still eating the extra things that you normally don't? So I think that's the part that we need to like formulate that habit. Like, okay, I don't need to eat more because I did that, a couple of days ago. You could always reset.
Absolutely.
And just remember
Absolutely.
that road to losing weight, we want it to be sort of this straight path, but it really is more of like a winding road to get there. And as long as you get to that final goal, that's really what matters. But the reality of it is that for no one, and really, truly for no one, is it just this straight shot. And part of it has to do with how incredibly mentally exhausting losing weight is. It takes a huge amount of mental effort to constantly stay on track. So just remember to give yourself some grace. It's okay to have a vacation and have fun with your daughter and enjoy a fun trip. And maybe you gained a few pounds, which, by the way, a good chunk of that 3 pounds is probably water weight. But as long as you kind of get back on track, that's ultimately what matters. It's not supposed to be perfect. And if it was, it would be a very not fun process, right? And life is too short to be miserable. So
Absolutely.
It's okay to have a couple of detours on the way as long as you kind of get to where you want to go in the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's that feeling too, because I felt a little bit disappointed within myself going, okay, well, we're not going to sneak in any old habits or it was just that feeling because like I have felt good, but there's the flip side. I'm either much heavier and people go, oh, your face looks fuller. And then now I've had friends say, oh my gosh, you're too thin. Your face is all gaunt. I'm like, well,
they all say that. Don't worry about it.
You can't win. So I just sort of felt...
You can only please yourself. And I would suggest that in future vacations, something I tell my clients to do is to set realistic goals before they go on vacation so that you don't have that guilt or disappointment later, right? So whether that's,
Absolutely.
you know what, I'm going to drink every day while I'm in Vegas, but I'm not going to have any desserts, or I'm going to limit myself to X amount of drinks per day. Give yourself some level of sort of restriction, but also
Yeah,
give yourself the wiggle room to leave vacation and not feel like, oh my God, I failed. So
absolutely.
next time, maybe set sort of like some reasonable goals. And that way, and maybe the goal isn't that you're going to lose weight. Maybe you just maintain it. Maybe it's that you only gain 2 pounds while you're there. And then when you come back,
Absolutely.
don't be hard on yourself. Just know that you had a
Yeah,
vacation. You didn't
yeah.
fail. You simply had a lot of fun. Well-deserved fun too,
A lot
Mama.
of fun.
80 something pounds
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
You deserve to have a nice vacation and enjoy yourself.
I know. And even
Yeah.
with like clothing and stuff, I threw out all my other clothing. And so I was like, well, I can't be doing that again, and I need another whole new set of
Oh,
clothing.
yes.
So that alone, I was like, no, well, the jeans were a little snug. So yeah, that was the thing. I was like, oh darn, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a life thing. It really is not just a do it, reach goal, and then we're all good. Because I just proved that how easy weight can go back on, and I don't want those same feelings and everything that comes along with it to slowly go
Yeah.
back down that track without realizing it.
I will say one thing that I was very proud of that you did. You said after your daughter had gone back home, you collected all of like the Oreos and the cookies, the chips, and you told your husband, "You better take this to your work because I'm not having it here."
I love
Literally
that.
packed a
Good for
bag. I
you.
packed a grocery bag, and he goes, "What's all this stuff in the truck, honey?" And I said, "Take them to the station. Let all the guys eat them." So yeah, because I figure if they're here, I'd just probably pick at them and wouldn't be hungry, zero hungry, but they're there, and you get that taste, and then I just go back and have another one. And that was my downfall before I started the A-list clinic. My husband's away a lot for work. So I would sit here, and I honestly, hand on my heart, would say I probably went to the fridge or cupboard 20 times of a night, zero hungry, but just picking and snacking and jamming in those calories of
Yeah.
stuff that wasn't even hungry. Yeah, I was like, take them with you to work now. Fun's over.
You
Yeah,
guys literally just hit the nail on the head. I tell people after our first consultation, take a garbage bag this weekend and throw away everything in your house that does not support your diet. You are way less likely to eat it if it's not there.
absolutely. No, well, for me, that's out of sight, out of mind. Whereas if it's there, it's like, oh, I'll just have that little bit more, and that little bit more becomes a little bit more of more.
Yep.
So then before I know, it's like, oh, what happened to the packet of biscuits, like, or cookies, as you guys say? So yeah.
I know you were talking about you're going to go to a training in Texas for like 6 weeks, right? Yeah, can you talk about like, I guess the challenges there as far as like what you get to eat or what that's going to be like?
Okay, so I'm training for a major airline for flight attendant, and I'm incredibly nervous because I have seen a sample menu and I'm absolutely horrified at what's on the
Mm.
menu. We get breakfast at the hotel of a morning, which would be continental or something, pastries, coffee. It's nothing that I would probably eat. And then lunch is literally burgers and stuff. So I already had a look at that with my husband and said, oh my gosh, what am I going to eat? I believe where we're based in the hotel for training, it's not that close to a supermarket, but there's a Walmart nearby. So I think I'd probably go and load up on waters and healthier snacks and fruit and stuff like that. And my husband's like, well, you could eat the meat patty, get rid of the bun, and, dissect the food, in other words, because none of it wouldn't be something that I would truly eat on a normal basis, not on a daily basis anyway. So protein yogurts, I think I'll just have to get there, get sorted and settled, and yeah, things that are good. I just feel that when you're eating that sort of, to me, it's really stodgy food. I feel like if I eat like a big burger or something, I've got to go have a little nana nap afterwards. I'm exhausted. So it just doesn't sit very well. So yeah, I think it's just, I guess, planning what I'm going to eat beforehand. And I tend to do that now a lot more. If I'm going out for the day, oh, okay, I'll take something with me. Little apple, whatever, just something that I've got a choice of a snack to tide me through to a proper meal or something of nutritional value. But yeah, so I think it's just a matter of planning. So I'm sure there'll be days
Yeah.
that I won't have a good choice, but I'd rather make majority better choices.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you mentioned there was a fridge in your hotel
There's
at
a,
least.
yeah, well, so I'm told there's a small little fridge. So we do unfortunately have to share a room with a stranger.
Oh,
So I'm a
Oh,
little bit nervous about that. I would have preferred a room on my own, but sadly you don't get that choice. So I'm just fingers crossed that I get someone that's really sweet and we get along well together. And, you know, I guess it's a complete stranger. So you've got to be respectful of each other and share the space. So yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because we were suggesting like, you could do salad. They have those like small little
Hmm.
salads you can get at the store. You could even get like protein bars as well or
Sorry,
protein shakes.
I bought the ones you recommended from Costco too. They're
Oh
really
yeah?
good. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the I think it's called Perfect Bar. I don't know if you remember
yes.
Katie, but Emily had them at her place. And it's like the peanut butter ones, and then they have like a dark chocolate peanut butter, and it's just filled with a lot of good stuff. But it tastes really good. Like
They're
it's not like
actually
a regular
really good.
protein bar. Yeah. And these ones you have to refrigerate. I think because it's all like, you know, real stuff versus like other protein bars that advertise that they're good, but it's just all sugar.
I was going to say,
No,
my
they're
people
good.
love Built bars, but I'm loving this thought about have bars from Costco because that's like way more accessible for people that want to buy like large amounts,
Hmm.
or just like pick something up because sometimes it's hard to like order stuff online.
Mm.
So yeah, good to know.
Yeah.
Also, Fairlife pre-made protein shakes. Those. That's another one.
They're
Having a
good. I
pre-made
have
protein
those.
shake. Yes, and a lot of my people that travel for work even pack them in their suitcase, which I'm like, whoa, that's a big commitment. But they do just so they have like something.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I have one guy that does it, and he'll drink one before he does like his like work dinner in the evening when he's away on work trip.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Oh,
so that he doesn't like go crazy.
That's
that's
good.
smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've
yeah, he's
noticed
lost
that
a
when
ton of
I
weight.
drink it, yeah, it'll make me full for like a few hours. And so that's a good deterrent. Do you have any advice for someone that's like just starting out on their weight loss journey? Like they're trying to look for clinics and they find, oh, there's someone that provides a medical weight loss. Like, what would you tell them when they're starting out?
Well, I think when I first started posting things online, because everyone kept saying, "Oh my gosh, have you lost weight?" And I didn't initially go tell the masses that I was doing anything. I just thought, I'll see how I go. And then people really started noticing, oh my gosh, have you lost weight? And then I think you saw it, Serena. I did a post
Yeah.
just to like my friends and stuff because I was sick of then replying the same response back to everyone what I was doing and how I was doing it. Look, I think everyone's journey is different and it really is what works for you. But I found this just so truly easy. And as I said, the support with what I needed, and I felt confident in the choice that I'd made. I don't know, you always want to help other people. I know
Hmm.
I always want to help other people and be the best you can be for you. I always say to my husband, well, it's great I look better in clothes and whatever, but I did this for me. And I think I did tell you, Serena, the other week when I came in that I did a full body scan through my husband's work, and purely that part alone was in my family on both sides, particularly my dad's side. There's diabetes, heart disease, stroke, all the good stuff. So I was really, I think as I'm getting older, I want to make sure that I'm around for my children, and when they have children, that when I'm a nana, that I'm in better health. You know, I already have a few little aches and pains, but that was the big thing. But when I did the body scan, the results came back, and the doctor said you have got next to no fat around your main organs. He goes, that's incredible. So to me, take appearance out or what size I fit into, that was the biggest tick of all ticks for me. That I had such a good result. He said, your arteries look great. He said, I had a tiny little bit of plaque. He said, but that was actually a very normal amount. Like he said, I was so under on everything that he had to go back and check my date of birth to the scan results. Um,
Wow.
Wow.
so that to me was my big high five. And that alone, I would recommend for other people to follow suit with that because, you know, heart
Yeah.
disease is a silent killer. People don't know what's really going on. I think it's just the support. Like I'm always happy to support anyone on this journey because for people to even just start is a really big thing alone.
Yeah.
They don't know where to start, how to start. They need a bit more extra guidance or support, or they're a little bit fearful. And I think once you do start having such a change in your body shape, people do treat you a little bit differently. Like when I was at my heaviest, I was a size 22. And if you actually saw those photos, they don't even slightly look like me. And your confidence goes up as the pounds come down.
So just go for it, I guess, if someone's
absolutely.
just hesitant, like, I don't know.
You know what? People would spend money on anything else. And this is what I always say. I could walk in a Sephora and drop money easily, or anywhere really, not Sephora, just in general. I could go to any store, spend money on anything. I know. But I think when you're putting the money into you, it's the best investment. As they say, this is your first home and the only home that you really need to make sure is good to look after the rest of the house. And I think without consciously thinking it at the time, I was feeling pretty low and not feeling confident about myself. And yeah, I think just the rewards to feel better within yourself. I mean, look, let's be fair, I won't be applying to be a Victoria's Secret model anytime soon, but you know what I mean? My body's not that great. It's better. And, you know, I feel more confident in myself, and the health benefits to me when I got those results were beyond incredible. And that was the really pat on my back for myself, doing this for myself and to better my health. That was the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you said, like investing in yourself, is so important because, again, it's not cheap necessarily to do medical weight loss, but you have to look at the long-term cost benefit of that. Because, if you were to have diabetes or a heart attack, God forbid, you know, like that's, you know, lifelong. And those treatments and the hospital stays are just so not worth it. And if you can start now, lose the weight now and prevent all those issues. And like you said, be able to see your grandkids, like totally worth it to have that initial investment and be healthy and, you know, have those moments with them.
Absolutely.
Alexandra, you have been so motivating. People that are listening to this are probably like Googling, where can they get medical weight loss? Side note, if you're in Cali, hit up Zarina. If you're in Pennsylvania or Delaware, definitely hit up me. But I mean, it was very inspirational having you on the Weigh In podcast. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us and sharing your story with us and being so incredibly transparent and relatable.
Anytime.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have any social media or anything you want to plug?
Not really. I mean, I am on social media, but it's not like a weight loss page or anything like that. But yeah, I'm always open to chat to anyone that wants to hear a genuine perspective. So
awesome. Yeah. Great. Well, thank you again for being on the podcast. Yes. We'd love to have you back.
No problem. Anytime at all.
Yeah. Sounds
awesome.
Good. All right.
It was a pleasure. Thanks, Alexandra.
Thank ladies. You. Bye.
Sure. Bye-bye.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast, give us a rating, and share with your family and friends who might find it helpful.
And remember, we love hearing from our listeners. Connect with us on our social media channels or shoot us an email with your thoughts, questions, or suggestions for future topics. Don't forget to check out our website, www.theweighInNPs.com, and to follow us on Instagram at theweighInNPs.
If you need one-on-one help with your weight loss or wellness journey, book a private consultation with us. The A-List Clinic can be reached at www.thealistclinic.com or on Instagram and TikTok at the A-List Clinic.
And my clinic, Lifefire Weight and Wellness, can be reached at www.lifefireweight.com or on Instagram and TikTok at LifefireWeight.
Thanks again for tuning into the Weigh In podcast with your hosts, Katie and Zarina. Until next time, take care and be well.
The information in this podcast is for general information only. It is not intended as medical advice and should not be relied upon as a substitute for medical consultation with a qualified medical provider familiar with your medical needs.